And two, it's all about that little pause right there, ladies and gentlemen, while you wait for the feed to kick in. Welcome, Ducks. It's Coach Leesy here. Welcome to Flying Mighty Ducks Game Changers Review Show, where we talk our way through episodes. I'm going to say this awesome show on Disney Plus, The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. I'm a long-time Ducks fan, as you will know if you've joined for episodes before, but I dig this show. I'm into it. So each week we will sit and discuss the latest episode. Today we are discussing episode 4, Hockey Moms. I am delighted to be joined by the man behind our very sponsor. Ladies, we are brought to you by Superpod, and this evening we are joined by Superpod. I call him the one. It's Alan. Good sir, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Hey, you are most welcome. As I say, we are brought to you by the wonderful Superpod, and that's the creation from the crazy mind of Mr. Galpin, who has talked Ducks. But of course, please check out pod.co.uk because it is a tremendous podcast festival. It's always for different wonderful charities. 24/8, a whole week of pod. Who knows what Galpin will come with next? But today, sir, we are talking Mighty Ducks. So let's start at the beginning. Let's get some history. For you growing up here in the UK, were the Mighty Ducks movies a big part of things for you growing up?
I don't know about a big part. The thing is, with my childhood, I have a pretty crappy memory, so I don't remember a lot of my childhood. But I remember knowing the Mighty Ducks. If you ask me any questions about the movies now, it's been so long since I've seen them, I couldn't tell you anything about them. And there's a good possibility that I might not have seen all of them. But I do absolutely remember them. The earliest thing I remember, one of the memories I do have about the Ducks, it shows that I did know about them at the time, is when we went, it must have been 92, we went to the States for my cousin's wedding, bit different, and they lived in
he says on his wedding anniversary. Just a joke.
No, actually it would have been later. Confused. We had a family that moved around. So the first thing I remember about hockey in general would have been 92. We went to stay with family in Calgary, and I came home from that trip with a Calgary Flames jacket and an Edmonton Oilers bag. Somehow I managed to mix up my my merch. But the earliest thing I remember about the Ducks was when they then moved from Calgary to Orange County, and when we went to visit them out in California, hearing about the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim as they were at the time, and being, hang on, I know that name, because I didn't know much about hockey, and just hearing, hang on, no, they're not a real team. That's from a film. I know that's not real. And then getting really confused because I was young. And
how dare you?
And yeah,
not a real team.
No, but in my little brain at the time, that's what I thought. And so I must have known a lot about them before then, or I knew the team. But I couldn't tell you when I first watched the movies or when I last watched the movies. But yeah, they were a bit of my childhood. But you can say that about most movies.
Well, that's fine. Yes, I suppose. Now, but you have, however, been watching this brand new show, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So before we go any further and discuss this actual episode or the show at all, go ahead, folks, and pay attention. Asset letters on the screen any second now, because, of course, we're going to talk about it in detail. Please, no penalty if you give a spoiler, I always love that stuff when people say, hey, spoiler, man, why are you watching a review show if you haven't seen the show? Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, why is that's creepy now. That's creepy. You just stop that. My phone was playing back what we're doing right now. Terrifying. Okay. Al, we are here to talk about the episode number 4, Hockey Moms. So, initial thoughts, what do you think of Hockey as an overall thought before we deep dive on the actual episode details?
I enjoyed it. I liked it. There were several points in the episode that made me smile. And and that's one of the things I love about this series in general is how it makes me feel inside, and it does make me smile quite
Hey, me too.
often. And there were several times in this episode that got me, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So yeah, I very much enjoyed this one.
It's beautiful. The overall message, cheesy as it is, but it's Disney, is that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique. It's okay to lose.
Hmm.
All right, that's the message from both Disney
Yeah,
Plus and
just
from
have fun.
your Uncle Alan, folks. All right, just have more fun. But these guys are not having fun. The episode opens with Coach Jerkface, the dude from Letterkenny. And I don't like this dude. I know we're not supposed to, but essentially he's referring to the Don't Bothers as wearing clown suits. He's really upset that he let the clowns score a goal. There's a moment later on where, well, we'll get into it, but he refers to it as a clown suit, Don't Bothers uniform.
Yeah.
So practice ends. We see, of course, the ringer, Adam Banks of this series. She plays Ducks. She wants to switch to the Don't Bothers. You don't bother, sir. And it's not going to happen. Her parents are real jerks. And I'm going to like your input on this because you, of course, are a parent. So I actually have somebody I can give opinions on this thing for. But Sophie's parents are getting a real low grade. However,
Yeah.
looks like Sophie hiding the fact that she, in fact, playing for both teams. Now, that is not any sort of innuendo. It is through the truth. She's practicing with the Ducks and the Don't Bothers. Every year, I want to say, you don't bother, sir. So here they are having a little chat. Alex says, I need a permission slip. Now, the kids are kind of worried because Sophie's not playing very well. She's exhausted, right, Al? She's playing for two.
Oh yeah.
Double
I mean,
practice.
you did 2 practices. I mean, 1 practice should wear you out, but 2, not a chance.
Especially at Ducks practice.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. That's just not good. She obviously permission slip, which I had a suspicion later because we see her do something later, and I thought that could lead to another little arc we could have because obviously, if you have a player who's illegal, no matter what happens in that season, when it comes out that that player was illegal, you're going to forfeit, right? So I was kind of thinking that maybe she doesn't get the right permission sign. Bothers do win, but then the wins take from them because they, and that's a lesson they might have to learn too. Who knows where this thing could go? We don't know, but well, we know it doesn't go that way. So anyway, we really cute moment. Now, Nick is definitely my favorite character. I don't know about yours. Like I love all these kids, and it's funny because usually when I watch those, I'm gonna say it, folks. I usually hate at least 1 or 2 characters. Like it's just easy. You're just like I hate that kid. Not a one. I like the Ducks kids, right? Like Trevor. What a jerk!
Oh.
But I don't think we're supposed to like him.
No, exactly.
He's a goalie. But we have Nick, who is the hot cocoa girl. But and this is adorable. I think maybe we've all been there. Us less social butterfly kids growing up. We kind of thought, yo, me and this be on the track to being best friends. I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to scare him. It's like a Seinfeld moment. It's like a Seinfeld episode. I don't want to push too hard. Is it too early to ask him to help me? What are you going to do there, right? You don't know. So it's really adorable. He's saying, "Hey, should I ask him? Should I ask him to have a sleepover? We're going to the movie. Should I save him a seat?" This kid's great. He's the standout, really. Just such a funny actor, such a funny character.
He is brilliant. The way he says stuff, the way he delivers his lines.
Podcaster.
I love it. Oh yeah, exactly.
And he's a podcaster.
We're down to like him.
There's a moment later where he's less than physical, doing a roly-poly. And moment happened,
I felt that.
At me. I felt that hard, especially even worse when my wife just looked at me as that moment was happening. So this is where Alex obviously says, "Look, kid, I have your permission slip, all right? Otherwise, I play for the team." Sophie admits, "I haven't told him yet, and I'm for both squads." We cut the table. This family dinner table, am I right?
That was like kind of unbelievable, but at the same time, totally believable.
Yeah, it's their pre-planning. They knew that the school Harvard was going to need a French horn player in about 5 years, so they got their kid to learn French horn 5 years ago. This is mad creepy. Like this is too deep for the creepiness, right?
That is bordering on psychotic behavior. I think it's absolutely nuts to plan your child's life to that degree. I mean,
Yes.
it's one thing to want to have aspirations for your child is fine, but to plan it that much to the fact that like she is at that point that Sophie then realizes that's why she's been doing X, Y, and Z, because they're planning already for her future. And it's so the fact that these kids are having these things done and they don't even realize why is just messed up in my head.
And Sophie's clearly unhappy. The parents know that. The parents don't seem bothered. I didn't even do that on purpose. But I can already see from your reaction already where you lay on this one, because they have no interest in what her interests are, this kid, and what makes Sophie happy. And there's even a little throwaway line. The mom says, "Enjoy your dinner. We're back off the carbs tomorrow." You know, so there's just like no joy, no joy.
No joy. No.
Cool moment. Now, Bombay and Alex are locking up the Ice Palace. I still think Bombay lives at the Ice Palace. What do you think?
Oh yeah, there's a good chance that he lives there.
He's just sleeping in his office.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything of his life outside of that place, have we? So
no, I think we're gonna find out that he's living there. So Bombay's locking up the Ice Palace. She says, "Why are you even bothering to Zamboni in there?" It's all these little like just throwaway lines that really just, not only do they make it fun and it's loud, like they're fun little jokes, but they tie so well with the characters too, right? So many of these little throwaway things, so funny. I think it's also because it's the overall writer of this project is Stephen Brill, who wrote all the original movies. They're his characters, so he doesn't necessarily write and direct each episode, but he is a showrunner, so to speak. So I think that's where those things
what
come.
You get, and it's the great character work you can do when you've got a series like this instead of a movie. I mean, my wife and I are having the same conversation. We watched this week's Falcon and Winter Soldier, and there's a similar kind of stupid little throwaway comment that you would never have got in the movie of that version. There's a version of it where Sam's trying to tie up some bolt, and Bucky comes in to help, and he goes, "No, give me the wrench," and he does it, and Sam's like, "Well, why didn't you just use your metal arm?" And Bucky just goes, "Well, I don't always think of it. I'm right-handed." It's just those simple little stupid little throwaway things.
Yeah.
To make you think, that's exactly right. That would never have come up in a movie. And it's a brilliant little character thing. And you're getting the same stuff in this, like you say, the little line about the Zamboni and all these other kind of little things that you would never get to write in a movie. But it just shows that the writer's thinking about the characters that much that he knows exactly what they were doing in all these silly little situations. And it's brilliant. I love this kind of new form of storytelling that we're getting over the last few years with stuff like this. It's great.
Definitely. We cut to John Walker sprinting as if his life depends. Oh wait, sorry, wrong review. Soon over.
Sorry, that's not in the wrong direction.
Steady. This is her boss, right? We do not like this. They don't anyway. Son is Trevor. Twins on the son's the goalie, right? So basically, this family is jerks. There, I said it. She pulls up with her husband Clark. They're off to a fancy restaurant. She acts totally stuck up about the arena and the area. Clark the husband does this whole thing about pretending not to remember Alex, even though they've met like a dozen times. Now, I may be going a little too deep here. Maybe I'm too into this show, but here's my little sneaky theory here. Stephanie, the mom, and Clark know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're not here by accident. Right? They're doing recon. They're looking around. You don't just saw in the first episode that the Ice Palace is in such a run-down area that Alex only went there when she was sent to go to this building they're foreclosing on, right? So what are they doing down there when they're on their way to a fancy restaurant?
Yeah, no chance.
Right? No chance. Way too deep. These people, we know if the other parents, Sophie's parents are shifty like this, so who's to say these parents aren't the exact same? These shifty people. They're
Oh,
just really stuck up. She literally does the whole like, oh, this place is so cute. There's look at all the broken glass. She talks about somebody threw a beer bottle at us, and you get a great bomb joke about like, no, it's a new brewery. It's a marketing campaign. And she's like,
yeah.
who are you? And who are you? Um, and you also get a great Bombay moment when they're both kind of like, oh, you're Gordon Bombay, the Minnesota Miracle Man. Where'd you disappear to? And he's like,
Yeah. Right
right
here.
here. Yeah. Friends cancel for dinner. Um, okay, fine. She says, let's buy you guys dinner. And if you notice, Bombay, as soon as they say that, he's like, yep, I'm in, free meal. Because again, he lives at the Ice Palace, right?
Yeah.
So where's he getting a fresh meal from? No, he's eating kids over pecan pecan.
Oh yeah. That was like
So we're at the dinner table.
I was like to say that's like the favourite bit of mine
Please.
from the first episode where he's like, no, 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 and she writes the amount of money down on the piece of paper, and he's like, yep, 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 that's fine.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
fine.
shows that that's
There's a great, yeah. And in the
he'll sell out.
continuation of it almost, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
D2,
'Cause he's
he's talking to Tibbles in the back of the limo, and he's like, you want me to endorse sportswear for money? And he's like, no, Gordon, for a lot of money. He writes down a price, and he's like, all right, I can endorse some sportswear. I think as we all would, man, like write the check. I like to say I have morals and I have standards, but if you write me a check and hand it off, there's I don't know, man. Might change
oh
my
yeah, I
opinion
have
about
morals and
something.
standards. I also have a price. So
Yeah. Everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. So we go to dinner now. I don't know about you. This dinner scene gave me big Cobra Kai vibes
okay.
because there's obviously the scene where, spoiler alert, Daniel's son and what's his name go to dinner together, right? Now, Vic says it's definitely Recon that we bumped into Stephanie at this point. Definitely Recon, not a real team. He also says, which is fair. Welcome to the stream, Vic. Welcome to the stream, Laura. Nice to hear from you guys. But yeah, so Vic definitely thinks Stephanie's on Recon too, right? And over dinner, we hear that other team has dropped out of the Moms Challenge. Maybe they were too, man. Really dirty. And threats like, you better drop out of that Moms Hockey Challenge. It ain't worth it. What do you think?
Yeah, it did. I think there might be other reasons for it as well that we haven't quite uncovered yet. Because she was so nice to Alex about her work, but at the same time, she's like caught Alex in the office looking up Bombay and doing other things and about leaving early and all this kind of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's another level to it of trying to work her out and expect Alex to lose her job before the end of the season.
Yeah, and if want to really go over it, I think we'll get a moment, obviously, where because Bombay lawyer, she talked about not finishing the bar or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Bombay's going to help her study and finish the bar. Right? Maybe
right,
at the end
yeah.
of the season, he gives her a book that's like to study for the bar exam. Maybe she has to go to a different job, so over some coaching. But you're right. I definitely think she's going to lose her job at some point here. It'll, in true mighty Disney fashion, I think it's down to a moment that's like Stephanie says to Alex, look, pull your team out or you're fired. Because in the first Mighty Ducks, you get, let me ask you this, Gordon, are you prepared to lose your job over some kids, some game? And Bombay says, well, let me ask you this, Mr. Ducksworth. Are you prepared to fire me over some kids, some game? He says, collect your things, Gordon. And that's when he does the quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth. Thank you very much, Mr. Ducksworth. So maybe they give Alex that ultimatum and she ultimately quits for the good of the team.
It would be kind of cool to have that kind of parallel, wouldn't it, between the two characters?
Yeah, because then there's another level for her in Bombay. Yeah,
yeah.
And, then she can tell Stephanie what she really thinks of her, But this dinner table, man, Clark is going on about like, that's just how I play hockey and that's how I live my life, And and Bombay with this beautiful. You ever get punched in the face?
Yeah.
Which I think that's a question we've all wanted to ask somebody at some point. Hey, man, you ever get punched in the face, like in real life or in hockey? I'm guessing both. This is what I think he says.
Yeah.
This is where they bring up the mom's challenge. So it looks like every year they do a mom's challenge. She's talking about, actually, Stephanie talks about the day they won this huge case. Alex did all the work, and they flew in a pecan pie to the office, but Alex didn't have any because she was working, probably doing Stephanie's work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She's like, oh, she's just always so dedicated. She didn't even have any pecan pie. Who, you didn't get any pecan pie? You know what? I was raised better than that. I know you're going to give me some pecan pie. Like, that's not, this is going down. You don't sit quiet in those moments. You stand up and you say, hey, where's my pecan pie?
Oh yeah.
But for now with Alex, I think that's down here. She's going to release that beast soon, I think.
Well, we saw that it can happen the way she, in the first one, with what she says to coach, the Ducks coach. So yeah, there's going to be another one of those moments at some point, I'm sure.
Yep. You don't bother. You don't bother, sir. You tell my kid. Exactly. I love that line. It was great. They obviously talk about that now. She got a 39 mile per hour slap shot, this Stephanie chick. So she's a ringer too, like 39 miles per hour. That's nothing to laugh at. She got the slap shot challenge, and the team is dropped out. Maybe they were bullied to drop out, thinking they'd just forfeit. Bombay says, let's get the don't bother moms to play, and Alex will face Stephanie in the challenge. This is the first moment where I'm kind of like, all right, because we get Bombay coaching. It's coming, right?
Absolutely, because he's been slowly working up to it over the last few episodes, and then to see him properly get involved with the mums this week was quite nice, because it's like one step away from helping the kids, but he was properly getting involved.
Yeah, he wants in, he just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
After dinner's over, he says, "Done," and then he says to Alex, so then obviously Alex is like, I can't do this. Bombay said, keep that lady down a notch. You can't do it in real. That's what hockey. He agrees to train competition, and now it's on, I think.
Oh yeah, that was great. I liked the way they were getting involved there. I liked what they had all the mums sat there in the beginning of the coaching, and then the random sad dad at the back. And the one thing that struck me is the one mum, the mum of the redhead girl with the glasses, who to me looked like
Christine,
she was young enough to play in the team herself. Yeah, but the mum just looked so young. She could have been in the kids' team. I was like, am I getting that old that this teenager's mother? It looks like a child still to me.
Yeah, the short answer to that is yes. So that's Christine, who's Lauren's mom. Looks just like her. I was going to say. Husband run mental practice, so hockey is being good to us, which is great. Daniel is Sam's mom. Says he's a lot of energy, and since he started playing hockey, there's a lot less broke stuff at home. Leesy says Maya's mom kind of stuck up. Says she gets the big city. Oh, what city's that? New York.
That was
we meet Nick's moms, and like he said, they are both one in their own ways. Cool that this show is like so many times you get these shows that are and they feel incredibly forced. I don't get that feeling from the Ducks show. You know what I mean? We've got like all different. We got a single dad. We've got two moms. Like we're not really focusing on any of that stuff. We're just kind of telling a story about these kids.
That's how you got to do it. You got to, these people are here. They exist. That's it. So that you don't need to necessarily and this is what's happening to them all the time, or this is why they're like that. It doesn't matter in this instance because it's not about them, it's about the kids.
Exactly. Vic says Sado. I don't know who Vic is calling Sado, but he says somebody's a Sado. Maybe Stephanie. We don't like Stephanie. And as you mentioned, sad dad, here he is himself. This is Harris. That Logan's mom left them. He said that she had to work laid on the plans, and turned out the plan named Dave. Something like that. That's pretty sad. But when we speak of including this guy out, just like, okay, man, thanks for coming. We're just really not what he needs at this moment. He says, I'm here to remind myself there's still decent women in the world. There you go. Then we get the skate up of Mr. Bombay. He liked having his ego stroke now, right? Because he skates right up and he's like, hey, some of you might have heard of Bombay. I'm the Minnesota Miracle Man. And these guys have never heard of him.
Yeah.
Now you get kind of like the other movies. You get a glimpse of Bombay training these moms, which is just a lot of fun. You know, they're terrible. He says, we're going to see your strengths and weaknesses. And then he sees how terrible they are. And he says, definitely going to see your weaknesses. We cut to boys at their sleepover. Pretty awkward, this thing, huh? Because they're all just kind of playing cards. Coop's ignoring them, and he's on his phone. He's from a screen family. So from the same room, Nick sends him a text. He's like, "You okay, man?" He sends back, "Yeah, okay. How you doing?"
Yeah,
okay. You know. So obviously, Coop doesn't leave his house too much. He's struggling a little bit with the social interaction.
I like Coop. Coop's one of my favorite characters. And especially after this, of what happens in a little bit, which I'm sure we'll get to in a moment.
Yeah, because he's coming out of his shell, and it sounds like he's going to be. It looks like he's going to be an awesome. During last episode, our man Vic sent me a message that said he was going to sue Disney for stealing his personality for the character. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I him that Coop kind of reminded he's going to because they stole his personality. Hey, just done it yet. I always want to put this picture up once every episode. Got to do this. Here it comes. It's just got to happen at least once every show. I think the people may come to expect it. Look at that one. Why do we want to do that? Well, because Charlie hasn't shown up yet. You know what I mean?
You know, the one thing that struck me about the sleepover scene.
Please. Yeah.
The fact that when the mums come in to take the phones away, and he's like, "Yeah, we don't have screen time after 10 o'clock." And I'm like, 10 o'clock? You should be in bloody asleep already at 10 o'clock at that age. Come on. And I'm like, you can't just be taking phones away at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. No, these are living wild. Right?
Yeah.
These don't bother kids living wild.
Crazy.
You're right. 10 is so late. 10 is so late. So late. Too late. So yeah, just kind of hanging out. 10 o'clock is no more screen time. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty late. Bombay's teaching that slap shot, right? Not good here. Her first shot is 15 miles per hour. Remember, the record of Stephanie is 39 miles per hour. Alex shoots 15. She's ready to give up right away. And now we get a little bit of Bombay, right? You know, and all right, here, you play Alex. Ready? And I'll be Bombay. Aren't you tired of them pushing you around? Aren't you tired? You didn't say your line. Al.
Sorry. I was just reading something. Well, I forgot what the line was. I was reading something.
We could just role play. I'm Bombay, you're Alex, all right? Aren't you tired of them picking on you?
Yeah.
Like a chump?
Yeah.
How was that pecan pie? How was the pecan pie, Alex? How was the pie?
I didn't get any.
You didn't get any pie, did you? They didn't give you anything. Nada, nothing. Just like the respect they give you, Alex. Just like the respect they give you, Alex. You feel that? Tell me now, Alex. Now shoot the puck. Now shoot the puck, Alex. Shoot the puck, Alex.
Bam. Bad motion.
24 hours, 25 miles per hour. Oh yeah, baby, we did it.
I reckon it was faster than that. It was faster than that. I do not trust Gordon's technique holding the radar gun and moving it like that. I'm pretty sure you're going to hold it still to get a proper reading.
Yeah, I suppose. I know, but you know, lest we start to pull threads, I suppose. Farrah Mark, that's my buddy JP. We played baseball together today. He couldn't hit nothing. Leesy was throwing the heat, and JP had nothing. Just so we're all aware. Anyway, We're talking Ducks. JP out mad times today. Yeah. All right. Where were we? So I think you think it was faster than that, huh? This is obviously the scene you just mentioned. They take the screen away for 10 p.m. Coop says this is a nightmare. A nightmare. Now we get a little bit of, I'm going to say it. I know it's a Disney show. I'm going to say it. We get a little bit of sexy time with Bombay, with Alex, because Bombay with her stance, right?
Oh,
And then you get this little moment where they're looking deep into each other's eyes and they both get a little uncomfortable. It's kind of cute. She immediately throws it off. He lets it go as well. They both just kind of walk away from each other and let it slide away. Slide away. Coop's devastated. He just wants his phone back. Like he's not happy. He also swipes himself. Says,
terrible.
There, this is a Disney show. It's a Disney show. It's a Disney show. So they basically, just like true movies, they basically decide it's Operation Get Coop's phone back, which is glorious. Really fun.
Yeah.
A cool moment where they need to call Coop's phone to find where it is. And Coop leaves himself a voicemail where he's like, I know you're scared. I'm scared too. Okay, bye. Like, it's just such a cool little, like, you can see he's already coming out of this show.
Yeah.
Nick says, we need to distract my mom. What are we going to do? They love show tunes. Coop says, did you say show tunes? This is now an incredible. Islam is the actor who plays Coop, and he is a winner of America's Got Talent for singing, who is a Broadway singer. Has this incredible voice, does he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was brilliant. I loved it. Out of nowhere. Because I didn't know who he was. I hadn't seen him on a talent show or anything like that. So when he suddenly came out of a show and sang like that, I was I was watching like that. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So instantly, it's like after the show was finished,
it's awesome.
He's right on IMDb looking him up. I was like, was that really him? Where's this come from?
He's really out of a shell. And now that's going to bring that character out because he just seems incredible. Vic says, swipes himself to sleep. Isn't that a Tinder reference? He's like, I don't know what it means, Vic. See, that's our Coob. Vic's our Coob. So the phone's on 1%, it's going to die. So they think it's all a disaster now. He says, Coob, if you want, you can go home. And he says, you know what? I had more fun finding my phone than I ever have on my phone. I'll stay. So lights out, and he says, so can I sleep over again? And you get Nick with like, no, man, you can't sleep 2 nights in a row. Sleepovers don't work like that. Which, of course, we have Don't Bother's practice. Sophie says, I have to leave early. I got some work thing, but she's actually sneaking off school thing. She's obviously sneaking off the Ducks practice. This moment, now when this happened, I actually got a little bit like because she gets there, she takes off her jacket to Ducks practice, and she's left on her Don't Bother jersey. Ooh. Dump.
What a mistake. Oh,
what a mistake. That's just still wonderful. What writing tool. The game is up. So she basically said back to the ice palace to look for help with Evan. When she gets there, parents have already written her. Her parents have arrived at this palace prior to her arriving at the ice palace. Not mean to say they had beaten her. Okay, it's Disney after all. Now, these parents are Canadians, so I love Canadians, but these guys are a couple of jerks. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. Proper pushy parents.
Her mom basically, Sophie tells them they expect too much. She lied, but they forced her to. She gets no choice in what she does. She hates being a duck. And then the mother, these are winners. You don't bother losers. Like, oof. What a nice, huh? So they're basically saying they're going to force her to play for the Ducks. Now, here, this is where I want your opinion. You are a father. I can't imagine any part of you forcing your young son to play for a team if he was this unhappy.
No, absolutely. I will force him to eat his dinner.
If it was
We'll
one
force
team
him to go to bed.
over another,
Other than that, whatever he wants to do, he wants to do. You know, especially when he's that age, he can do what he wants. I'll happily support him no matter what he wants to do, whether it's sports, whatever. I might have to learn some new things myself as I get older, but yeah, I can't imagine being like those parents.
and that's the way. No, that's the way. If you've made the sacrifice to become a parent, I think that's part of the deal, right? You know, for this poor kid, but this mom has no shame. Alex, we're not losers. Uh,
It's
she
not a
said
great photo of
be
Laura
the
Grace.
best team. This was no, but she says yes. Once we got lost on the way between the locker room and the ice,
Yeah,
and it just kind of thought that picture, that moment perfectly. You could just see that happening to some new team. She's looking up. We might even do really well. Mom's challenge. Back to Sophie's mom. Yeah, right. You know, so and so's Olympic player. She's so rude. I don't like this lady at all.
no.
Despite all this planning these parents have done, kid's life, they now agree to let this kid's life come down to a hockey competition between moms. Despite 5-year out plans and all these things they've come up with, Sophie says, I'll tell you what, if the Don't Bother moms win, I'll play for the Don't Bothers. If the Duck moms win, I'll stay on the Ducks and I won't bother you about it anymore. Don't bother. But again, despite all this planning these parents have done, that's okay. Deal. Fine. Deal. I don't let you eat carbs, but I'll let you gamble your whole life against Lauren Graham, Lorelai Gilmore scoring a slap shot. Okay, fine, no problem. Don't bother. I'm into it. Don't get me wrong, I'm into it.
Well, that's the cockiness of her, though, isn't it? She's so sure that they would never be beaten that she agrees to that bet because in her head it's not a bet. It's just like, oh yeah, kid thinks she's got a chance. She hasn't.
Yeah. So let's see how this works out for them, isn't it? You know, how this may work for someone. There. I changed the settings, so now maybe we'll get them up. Okay. There we go. Thanks, Laura. Now, ding, diddling, diddling, there they all are. Diddling, diddling, diddling. I always forget to change that privacy setting. You'd think it would just revert. You think it would just revert to public since I always change it to public. Anyway,
yeah.
We now get some Bombay coaching moments, right? Which is awesome during contact. He's kind of for the team, you know. Now I'm gonna say it: the Don't Bother moms look nice than the Don't Bothers first. Like look good out there, and I know that Bombay obviously looks good. Of course, it comes down to a tie. Come to the Don't Bothers versus the Ducks because this is a Disney sports show after all. I love seeing Bombay behind the bench. It really gives you those feelers back to the old show. Comes down, of course, to the slap shot challenge. Of course it does. We get another look at this dude. Here he comes. Look at his face. You jerk. Is it changing? Or am I just calling Bombay? Not a jerk. We like Bombay.
Yeah. No, it changed. It's
Oh.
It's just got.
It's Coach. What's his name?
Stupid mouth and stupid hair.
Yes, Coach T. So we come down to the challenge. How fast do you think you could slap shot?
I do not know. No, I've never done it, and I don't know what is a good speed.
Apparently, 40 is pretty good. You know, once we get our traveling rights back to come out here and one of our, because we're going to start putting together a little road hockey. Like you have to come out here and play with us. You know, it'll be fun, and we can probably kick JP down, and that's always fun. We can knock JP over. That's a great time. So it comes down 3 shots each. Highest speed on a single shot wins. I wish I would have prepared a drum roll, but the first shot is for Stephanie. What was her record again? Do you remember?
37
in a row. 39, 39, I believe. Now, 35 for her first shot. He looks at Alex and says, "You got this." That's not nice. Alex's first shot, 26. Now, based on where he started, that's a good shot for Alex. 37 for Steph. Again says, "You got this. You're doing great, sister." This next shot for Alex, 23. "You're doing great, sister." 40 miles per hour next for Stephanie Reddick. A noob, no record. I don't care. I'm not interested. So Alex has to beat 40 miles per hour in order for Sophie to join the Don't Bother. So we got kind of like this cool little, right? Where he's like, "Hey, Alex." And she looked back. And of course, as he always does, Bombay's a cake eater now, or a pie eater. He just says, "Hey, look at pecan pie." By the way, I love pecan pie. This looks delicious. Pecan pie revealed that inner ray. And if I may, this look she gives him is the look of a romantic interest. Well, would you agree?
Is that not just her looking at the pie?
Oh yeah, good point. You're right. You're right.
Maybe. I mean, I expect it is probably looking at Gordon, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, she takes a shot. Do you remember what her score was?
41.
As they don't bond from the sidelines.
41. She got 41.
41. She sure did. Look at the tension in the crowd too, Please. And was correct. 1 miles per hour. She wins, Al. She wins, doesn't she? There's no tomfoolery. She's won. However, I don't know when you're allowed to use a parent's phone for VR or video replay, but Al foot across the line. He DQ'd the shot and says, "Duck Moms win! Duck Moms win!"
VAR is ruining everything.
Ducks, that's for sure. Even good old some guy with his iPhone. Bombay just takes it though. He's not too worried. Sophie though, devastated. And this is another moment where I was caught up in the fact that how's dad really as a father going to do that to your kid? Because she basically says "Great, I guess I'll be a duck forever." And your heart just kind of breaks and you think, surely this dad's going to do the right. And luckily he does. He comes up and he hands her the form, signed, sealed, delivered. He's officially a Don't Bother. He says, "You looked so happy when you thought the Don't Bother won. I haven't seen you that happy in a long time." So he signs the form. The Vic says the condensation, the condensation from their mud boil. He's absolutely right. What a jerk he is, "Oh, you're doing so great, sister. Doing great, sister."
And do you think the fact that it was
Sophie is?
Do you think it was the fact that it was the dad who signed Sophie's consent form is then going to cause problems between her parents?
Maybe they could be looking at divorce in season 2. Who knows? Who knows?
Because her mum was so staunchly, and he was less vocal about everything until that point. It was all her mum, and then he's signed the form.
Yeah, could be some trouble at home now. Yeah, he might have gone without mom's permission on this one. She's going to show up and boo them and stuff and be a jerk.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Maybe Alex will punch her in the face. That'd be fun.
Well, we can hope.
I know that's not really the point. Maybe Bombay will punch her in the face.
Not in a Disney show.
Evan at home. That's right. I guess not. Alex gets a text that says, or Evan gets a text that says Sophie can join. Super happy. Knock on the door. It is the romantic interest. Here he comes. Hungry again. He brought pecan pie. She says, "You want in?" He's immediately excited, because he lives at the Ice Palace. And he joins them. He meets them. He gives Evan a little dap, and they sit down to eat pecan pie off of Nap, which is a beautiful little close to our to our latest episode. I thought it was great, but I like all of them. I'm easy that way because I'm gonna love this show. I'm just destined to love it. What did you think, my friend Al?
I very much enjoyed it. From Alex's slapshot to Coop's singing, and discussing sleepovers and how to know if you're hitting best friend zone. All those moments just were brilliant for me, and loved them. And I love how so far in each of these episodes, everything is obviously progressing the overall story, and you get deeper dives on individual characters here and there, as you would in the series. But I think each one has been done so well that I've just been thoroughly enjoying it. And I'm looking forward to next week, and I can see where they go next.
Absolutely. Now, did you see so did you watch?
I did watch the little teaser. Yeah.
Sneak peek. Okay, so that teaser throws out the window one of our fan theories from last week, who said he thought Evan's dad would be Bombay. We now see that it is not Bombay. Bombay is, or not Bombay. People were thinking Charlie Conway would turn out to be Evan's dad. In case you don't remember who Charlie Conway is, I think I have a picture here. I got a picture I can show you guys who Charlie Conway. So maybe grown up Charlie could be Evan's dad. You could see it in the family resemblance. But of course, as Vic reminds us, my big theories for this show are Conway is dead and Bombay is homeless. I'm not wrong. For those of you who thought maybe Conway could be Evan's dad, and not, because in next week's episode, clip of Evan's dad coming to town looks like one of these stories we've seen tons of times where dad's back in town, he's gonna do all these things with me, and then he's gonna let me down. And after all, looks like that's exactly what he's gonna do. But he is played by Eddie McClintock. Are you familiar with Eddie McClintock?
He looked familiar, but I couldn't place where it's from.
Well, I know him from Warehouse 13, among other things. He was the main dude in Warehouse 13, which is a cool sci-fi show. My mom and I used to watch that show together. When I went to Dragon Con, he was there. So kind of went up to him and I took a picture. And I said, my mom's a big fan. We watch your show together. Would you mind sending her a video greeting? And he totally agreed to it. Really cool guy. Sent this nice video to my mom. And the whole time, I had my thumb over the mic. And you couldn't hear it.
Oh, dear.
But it counts, right, buddy?
But he comes next week.
That means, right. So, yeah, Conway is not Evan's dad. I still maintain Bombay is homeless. Prove me wrong. And so far, as sad as it could be, it gives us a reason for Bombay to be so dark. R.I.P. Charlie. Yo, I said it. What do you want from me? I said it. R.I.P. Charlie. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make any. I just want them to hear from us. You know? What do you think? What do you think about? Where does Conway get into this series? What do you think, Galvin?
I don't know where he would fit in. It's not something I'd given much consideration to be honest. But Bombay's homeless, absolutely. I can completely see that one. But Conway, not sure. That's me. Where's Matt gone? There he is.
Promos in, man. I was just getting some promos in for us, of course. He is Bear UK all over the socials. He is, of course, the man behind Superpod. Keep your ears out for that, because there will be another event coming soon. If you want to follow me, it's Matt Hitman Lees. You're very welcome to do so. Sometimes I tweet funny things. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm grumpy and I tweet grumpy things. Mostly on Twitter, corporations and big companies, and try to start trouble.
That's what it's for.
But that's fun too. We can all enjoy that. That's right. I think a great episode, a great series. Quickly give me not quickly, just tell me your ideas, your theories for the end of this show. of the series? What do you think happens? Where do we go from here? Where does the series end?
I think that something to do with the Ducks will be putting pressure on the Ice Palace, and their business will struggle. And I think we'll end up seeing not only will on the ice will they have to overcome the Ducks, but they'll have to do something off it as well to help save the very place where they play. I wouldn't be surprised if that came into play at some point. Other than that,
Yeah, I think you're right there.
yeah. Other than that, I think Stan, like I said, potential for the losing of the job and for Alex and that kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see the end of the season end on not a downer, but something where it could be, where it could go either way, and then they stop and leave us on a bit of a knife edge.
Yeah, because they are kind of setting us up for you don't always win, right?
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely. I mean,
there's no
the whole premise is like
guarantee that they're.
the whole premise is that we play for fun. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll get
it's
to
not
a
about.
stage where they'd exceeded their expectations, but then they lose in a big match in the playoffs or whatever at the end to the Ducks, but they don't care because it was all good fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think that could certainly be the way it goes. Because, like you say, the winning isn't important. It's the taking part. It's the having fun. I like your idea of the struggling with the Ice Palace. Like maybe Christine finds that they're against code or something,
Yeah,
and that means that tries down. She tries to close down the Ice Palace because they're winning. That could also lead to, her making Alex process the paperwork. Maybe this is like, I'm not doing it, and she's like, do it or you're fired. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I like it. It's really bringing
Especially
us.
if it's
It's
especially when
really
it's that close to the building that they're kicking people out of, and they're trying to change that area. If that restaurant really was in that area, and they're obviously involved in trying to bring the area up a bit, they're not going to want the Ice Palace around.
no makes sense. I like it. It's a couple of different battles that they can go through. I have both theories that they could win, they could lose in the end. I do think at some point these kids, our kids, will become the Ducks because I do think there will become a competition for the name of the Ducks. Because we've realized these parents are willing to gamble things over a game. We've already realized that. So
Yeah, absolutely, and it would make sense because if the whole series is called the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, for the central characters not to be the Ducks is an unusual take and one I was not expecting, but
yep.
it's good. I love the show, but they do need to redeem the Ducks at some point because they don't want to make them the permanent villains because you don't want that name associated with the bad guys all the time. You're going to want to make them the good guys again.
No. So I think there does come a moment where they play for the name and title of the Ducks. Of course, Bombay's in there. We know what he used to be like in the courtroom, so he can fight those legal battles. Alex is a paralegal. So I think that many things could come out of this. Maybe even the new Ducks end up having to play Ice Palace. Maybe Bombay gets. Oh, maybe Bombay wouldn't want it saying that. I do think our kid will become the Ducks officially at some point.
It would make sense.
Cool. Any other predictions or ideas you've had on the show? I think we've pretty much summed up the majority of our ideas.
They're the ones that stick out to me.
Yeah. So we have 6 episodes left. Well, this was episode 4. And of course, we've said spoiler alert, but we know there will be returns of the OG Ducks. I have it on my information, take it for what you will, that happens in episode 7, being the episode from this series directed by Umbrell. So that may be the time where he brings them in to give them a hand and stuff. I've also heard in an interview that there were also hockey doubles cast for the OG Ducks, meaning we may get some legit hockey footage too, rather than just like a training montage, which is very exciting stuff. I have not released yet and said on this show, I don't think, who exactly they are. We don't have to go there just yet. I think it'll be a nice touch. People don't know who they are until they see the episode, but it's out there. If you want to know, Google it. The information's out there. If you want something really even an extra twist, confirm he got 7 OG Ducks to come back. Look up the pictures. Look wherever you want. You're only going to find 6 OG Ducks in there. So we don't know who one of them is. Is it Conway? It's not, because he's dead. I said it. R.I.P. Charlie. R.I.P.
He
buddy.
could
All right.
he could be in flashback.
You're right. Flashbacks. Disney Plus loves a flashback. So he could be in flashback mode, but I maintain R.I.P. Charlie. Remember, folks, Bombay's homeless, and R.I.P. Charlie. This is the dark Mighty Ducks universe here. All right. This is the dark universe we're in now. Things are not always going to be pretty and rosy. All right. We're in a dark timeline. Ever since you lost a squee in that contest, we've been in the dark timeline. This is on you, Al.
I think the dark timeline goes
That's
on
big
further
history.
back than that.
I know it does. I know. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure to talk with my friend Al about this wonderful show. Mighty Ducks Game Changer happens every Friday on Disney Plus. 6 episodes left. We're here the following Saturday after every episode to discuss these shows. Pretty sure this guy Al will be back at some point, and I'm trying to, perhaps for the season finale, for the final episode, I want to try to get a whole bunch of people on. And I'm working on a prize we can give away to one lucky viewer as well. So that could be fun. Al, give us a couple of words about the wonderful event and the wonderful project that Superpod is.
Yeah, Superpod is a charity podcast festival, and this year we did it wholly online for the first time, because obviously we had to. Generally, it's been in Southampton for a couple of years, and so this time it became an online thing, and I think moving forward it'll be either online only or a mix. But generally what it is, we're around comic relief every year, or sport relief on sport relief years. We get a bunch of podcasters together and do a bunch of live podcasts. The first one was 36 hours non-stop. Last year we did 2 days. This year we did one long day. So each one's kind of a little bit different. But the general thing is there's normally about 16 podcasts coming together. They take a little time slot. They all go one after the other. We do one long broadcast. And it's generally a lot of fun. And we try and raise as much money as we can.
That's always a great time. So, yeah,
it is. Keep check it out.
Superpod.co.uk.
Yeah, here we go. And I've been working on another little Superpod project today. Actually,
there, UK.
You and I had a little
drop that, or is that just a tease?
Well, you and I'll give a little tease. You and I had a little discussion, didn't we, a couple of months ago about something we could potentially do around the Christmas period for Superpod, and I discovered something on my laptop that would play into that very nicely. So I have been working on that. I'll tell you off air, but yeah, people should maybe stay tuned.
Get me excited. Don't you get me excited about a panto, Galpin. I'm telling the listeners, we discussed a Superpod panto at Christmas, and I got really excited. And then we decided it was going to be way too much work. So don't you tease me, Galpin.
Well, I found 2/3 of a script for something that could be easily turned into a panto. So
yes,
maybe watch this space. We'll see if we can make it happen.
Al said it. Superpod panto this Christmas. I can't wait.
I had this podcast idea. You know, there's a thing that says there are only seven types of stories in the world. And I was going to do a podcast where I would take one of these stories and take 2 films that were of that genre and mash them up into one story, and then try and record them with people doing impressions of characters. And it was going to be called Terrible Impression Theatre Showcase, or TOTS for short. And I found the script. It was the first one I had, and it's a mashup of Aladdin and Brewster's Millions. So we may well be able to do Aladdin's Millions as a panto this Christmas, where the 2 bankers are effectively Jafar and Iago, and Aladdin is Brewster. And yeah, you know,
I'm in. I'm already in. I'm in. You heard it here, folks. Superpod panto at Christmas. If you want to follow me, it's Matt Hitman Lees on all of the shows. This has been the Flying V Mighty Ducks review show. We survived. Mr. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back again As will I. Next week, my guest is Vic. That's right, but you're the guest next week, so get your stuff together. You know now, so there you go. Woo! And the week after, we got the one and only Dr. Squee as my guest as well. And then we're building our way towards the finale. I'll be back. All right, Galpin, thank you once again. Say goodnight to the ducks.
Thank you for having me. Good night, everyone.
Oh, you're always welcome. Remember, folks, ducks fly together. Be nice. Be kind. If you can't be decent, at least be sanitary. Isn't that right, Al? Ducks fly together. Thanks for watching our Flying V Mighty Ducks review show. We'll be back next Saturday at 7:30 with a review of the following episode featuring my special guest just announced, Vic, a.k.a. Kodak Brown, as we talk about episode 5. Bye-bye. Check out superpod.co.uk. And remember, ducks fly together.